In this video, we're going to talk about a pretty common and very devastating tactic. That is a baited ambush. This ambush can be done in a deliberate ambush where it would work more effectively, or it can be done in a hasty. You set up your ambush and you send one person or a small group forward to be the bait, to draw the enemy into the ambush. Now, this ambush typically has two purposes, or one of two purposes. One, to capture prisoners or a prisoner for intelligence reasons, or two, to wipe out a particular enemy force. Now, a good example of this, for those of you that want to see something like this in action to better understand it, watch the movie We Were Soldiers. When the Cav troops land at LZ X-Ray, they start securing the immediate area for the additional flights that are coming in. They start coming across people that are on overwatch of the LZ. One of those troops runs off into the woods. One of the platoons decides they're going to take one of those scouts as a prisoner, and they follow that scout. And they get drawn right into an ambush and almost completely wiped out. That happened in real life. This is a tactic that gets used a lot by opposing forces during exercises, especially light infantry exercises. So what we have down here are a little LZ with our flying guppy helicopters. We have our little scout who's down here in the edge of the woods watching the LZ. When the troops get on the ground, he gets seen. Maybe makes that split second making sure he gets seen, and he starts running. He tries to make it look like he's trying to run away. So he might curve out a little bit and that stuff, but always making sure that the enemy can see him. Brings him into the tree line, comes right up on an ambush. The rest of the squad, the rest of the platoon. Their weapons are sighted to shoot straight in across the kill zone. As soon as the enemy gets in here, almost up to the point of the V here, they open fire, cutting them to pieces. You can also do this as a linear where everyone is on one side. Your bait runs past the edge of the ambush, and then as soon as the enemy gets right in line, they're still focused on that bait running up ahead. That ambush opens up right on them. Now, if they're trying to take them prisoner, there's two things they can do. When the enemy comes in, the flanks here come in around the back, close it off into a circle, and they tell them, the enemy troops inside, to stop and drop their weapons. If any of them don't, or they look like they're going to start to resist, you take out a few of them. You pick them off. Once these guys see that, hey, this one gets taken out from this side, this one gets taken out from this side, this one down here gets taken out from someone down here, they realize they're surrounded. They're more likely to give up, depending on their morale and their trading. If they're hardcore, they'll fight through. If they're draftees, they're more likely to give up. Another option is that the ambush gets initiated. You start picking people off, but you pick out a couple of them and make sure not to kill them, only wound them. You hit them in the leg deliberately so that they fall to the ground right out of the kill zone. And then before they can really do anything, they're still messing with their leg. You move up on them, get your weapon on them, and capture them. After their buddies that were around them are taken out. Now, for those of you that are watching this, and you're wondering, well, how do you counter this? Say you're the ones being lured into the baited ambush. It's actually easier than you think. That guy that's running away, don't chase after him. Put a bullet in him. Cut him down. Give him a burst of machine gun fire right across the legs. Blow out his thigh from behind. Hell, shoot him in the rear end. Put him down on the ground. And then go up there, provide first aid, and capture him. Nothing says a prisoner taken has to be unharmed. You can still capture him after he's been wounded. But ideally, with this type of ambush, as soon as you initiate it, the ambush is already over. As soon as those first rounds go out, you've already cut everybody down in the first few seconds. As the term for it is that mad minute. That first 1 minute of you're pouring as many rounds into the kill zone as possible to make sure to take out everybody. And I think I will follow this up with a video on priority targets, or your target priorities, I should say. Who should you take out first? Because that probably will be a good continuation on this. But just to recap, you have your ambush set in, either linear along one side, or you have it in a V-shaped here, or a U-shape. Let's say you got hills or something on the side, you got a trail going up the middle, you know, you get everyone set up on the hillside around it, and you're pouring rounds down in. Your bait gets seen. It could be 1 or 2 people. You don't want too large of a group, you want a smaller group. So a 2-man buddy team would be a good example on this. That way, in case one does get shot, the other one can still lead the others into the ambush. As soon as that bait is sighted, they take off, heading towards the ambush. They don't necessarily go in a straight line at first. They make it look like, you know, they're trying to find a way to get out. You know, not necessarily zigzag real hard, but, you know, give yourself a little dog leg every once in a while. Constantly trying to draw the enemy in. You don't want them to get too close, but you don't want them to get too far away. Draw them right into the ambush. Your bait runs through the ambush or past the ambush, and as soon as the enemy is inside the kill zone, you open up and you take everyone out. Now for all my engineer brothers in the Patriot and Militia movements, always remember, essayons.